Thank you. Next up, it'll be Michael Gomez. Maybe early in his pro career, not quite the sensation that Hatton was, but in recent times, Gomez has outperformed everybody virtually in this country. If he can keep his run going, he builds himself up for a wonderful year 2000. He's next. Ouch. At super featherweight here, more 12-round championship experience for the vastly promising Gomez coming up. Mike Goodall will call the fighters out.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now come into the WBO Intercontinental Super Featherweight Championship, and please welcome first to the ring the challenger from Mexico, Oscar Galindo.
This is Oscar Galindo, the 22-year-old who offers yet another Mexican challenge to Michael Gomez's impressive winning run. He's reportedly the brother-in-law of Jose Manjarrez, who was Gomez's last opponent in an excellent fight a couple of months ago. And if he's as tough and good as him, well, we might be in for another good fight. What do you think, Glenn?
Well, we could be. Certainly we don't know that much about him. He's taller than Gomez. He'll have the reach on him. Supposed to have mixed in reasonable class, so you just never really know it, Ian, with the Mexican fighters. Normally at this sort of weight, they're pretty tough.
Calls himself Apache, Oscar Galindo.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the current WBO Intercontinental Super Featherweight Champion from Manchester, Michael Gomez!
And as usual, the Gomez fan club, complete with sombreros, are out in force. It's his 7th fight of the year, this one, Glenn.
Yes, he's been busy, and I must say, over the year, and he's such a vastly improved fighter. You just watched him go from fight to fight and improve with everyone. He really has come on from not a good start, going so well now.
He's won his last 12 contests after a dodgy start to his career, which included 3 defeats. Winning the British title and this Intercontinental belt this year. Gomez is a month, I should say, younger than Galindo. Galindo a bit taller, as you can see, will have a little bit of a reach advantage. The weight identical. This is the 9 stone 4 pound division. Both made their debuts in 1995. They've had a similar number of fights. Galindo has boxed a few more rounds. Gomez has the better knockout percentage of the two of them.
Ladies and gentlemen, sponsored by Sentinel Healthcare, Frank Warren proudly presents a contest of 12 3-minute rounds for the WBO Intercontinental Super Featherweight Championship. Between and introducing the boxers, firstly, in the red corner, wearing the purple trunks, coming from Mexico and weighing 9 stone 3.5 pounds. He holds an 18-fight professional record, 11 wins, 7 wins by way of knockout, with 6 losses and 1 draw. Please welcome the challenger for the title, Oscar Galindo. And across the ring, ladies and gentlemen, in the blue corner, wearing the black trunks trimmed with orange, white and green. He fights out of Manchester and weighed 9 stone 3.5 pounds at the weigh-in. He holds a 19-fight professional record, 16 wins, 9 wins by way of the big KO, with 3 losses. He's the current WBO Intercontinental Champion, making the second defense of his title this evening, and he's the current Super Featherweight Champion of Great Britain. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting Michael Gomez! The officials for this contest, appointed by the British Boxing Board of Control, the supervisor, Mr. Robert Smith, the steward in charge, Mr. Dennis Lockton, the timekeeper, Mr. Barry Pinder from Sheffield. The judges are Mr. John Coyle of Wolverhampton, Mr. Dave Parris of London, Mr. Paul Thomas from Derby, and the referee in charge of the action from Leeds, Mr. Mickey Mann.
Mickey Van, the referee for this one, and 3 British judges at ringside. Will they be needed, though, or is Gomez about to complete an inside schedule victory here? The young man with the amazing story. He was born in a car, he was a school truant, grew up in a children's home. One of the papers had the nice line of saying that it made the childhood of Oliver Twist look privileged by comparison.
Well, he's having his gloves retaped. I'm not sure what that's for. Maybe they're just coming a bit loose, but he's getting tape on them by the supervisor.
Hence the slight delay. I think everything is shipshape now.
Shake hands, come back to the corners, come on with your head above. Good luck. Go back.
12 3-minute rounds for the WBO Intercontinental Super Featherweight Championship.
Gomez, 16 wins and 3 defeats. And look in the other corner, Galindo there is saying a silent prayer. So far, he's lost 6 of his 18 fights. Galindo, including his last one. He's a southpaw, as you can see, which might present 1 or 2 problems for Gomez in terms of trying to work him out. And he's clearly come here with 1 or 2 ambitious ideas. Galindo, you could see that from the opening exchanges.
Gomez just has to be a little careful. He's doing the right thing. He's tucking up. Hasn't got to leave his chin out there when the Mexican's letting these big punches go.
Don't think Gomez knows too much about this fellow. I think he only knew he was a southpaw when he saw him writing with his left hand. Gomez certainly can't afford any kind of upset in a fight like this. He really does appear to be going places just at the moment, catching the eye and the imagination of people in the boxing business in Britain, becoming talked about. It's important he keeps the momentum going.
Well, what's been impressive is the fact that he looks to be quite an educated fighter who's learning all the time.
Like his stablemate, Anthony Farnell, he seems mature beyond his 22 years in his style. He's quite composed, picks punches well. That's a nice straight right he drilled in there. Galindo, pretty competitive though in this opening round. No reconnaissance mission here, is there, from either of them?
Well, this is a good start. Galindo has come to fight. Gomez just tucking up, allowing Galindo to let his punches go, and then coming back with some solid ones of his own.
Gomez covering up quite well, but some of these getting through. Galindo, a tough man who says he's fought in some of the roughest cities in Mexico, and was quoted as saying that Gomez was in for a shock and a tough boxing lesson. It was all quite big talk for a guy with a few defeats on his record. Good body shots from Galindo here. Certainly taking it to Gomez in this opening round, isn't he?
Well, he is. He's giving Gomez a bit of a test already. Gomez tucking up well. I'm impressed with that. You know, he's not trying to stand and trade with him, waiting till Galindo's finished and then firing his own punches back.
Super left jab from Gomez, really rocked the head back off Galindo. That's a good opening round. Welcome back. One round gone in this intercontinental fight at super featherweight. Michael Gomez in the black trunks defending this title. It was a close-ish opening round, wasn't it?
It was close. I thought Gomez probably just got the cleaner of the punches, and that's, you know, that looks the same on the computer as well. But it was a very entertaining first round.
Here comes the second round. I think the referee a little bit worried that at times Galindo was slapping in that opening round, and they would not have been scoring punches. Galindo has picked up the quite lightly regarded Hispanic title. Had a good win for that about a year ago, knocking out his opponent in the 5th round. Seems to have improved as his career's gone on. And has come here with a bit of ambition, and that's all to the good, really. Lovely right uppercut, though, on the inside from Gomez. Remember Gomez's last fight, the Mexican fella there, thought all the people in sombreros were here supporting him. I wonder if this fella thinks the same.
Well, certainly the last one did. He thought he had a great deal of support.
He must have wondered what was going on when he came into the Mexican hat dance. Some good headshots getting in there.
Well, Gomez again getting the cleaner punches through. Galindo's letting them go, some of them around the side, which Gomez is catching on his gloves. And as yet, this is a nice, calm performance from Gomez. Hasn't been flustered by the pressure of Galindo.
Growing in belief and maturity all the time, Michael Gomez. It's not his real name, by the way. It is Michael Armstrong, but there was another professional fighter of that name who won a British championship. So he adopted the name of Wilfredo Gomez, the great Puerto Rican. Gomez avoiding all those attempted blows from the Mexican. Good defensive work from him.
Well, Gomez in a very good fight last time out, and again this one's proven very entertaining.
Good left hook from Gomez. Produced an absolute peach shot with the left hook to win the British title against Gary Thornhill, who's around tonight and actually came up to congratulate Gomez and shake his hand in the dressing room and wish him well, which is a nice gesture sometime before the fight. Well, one of the most impressive punches thrown in that last round was a little right uppercut on the inside by Michael Gomez.
An excellent punch, textbook, and the left hook to follow. I mean, that really is how you should throw that punch. It's nice by itself, but bring something behind it, and he did it perfectly there. The left hook, and Galindo had to give ground.
Third round coming up then here. Gomez, the British boxer in the black trunks. I think the next thing that Gomez has to convince us of is that he may have what it takes to move beyond British class and onto the fringes of the world scene, but all in good time. These fights against these Mexicans are the right kind of thing at this time for him, I think, don't you?
Yes, they are. I mean, the problem being that, you know, every now and again, you know, the promotional team might just make a mistake. That's the danger when you get these tough Mexicans. Every now and again, you know, there's one in there who's just been hiding around in the gyms who turns out to be really, really good. So they've got to be a little wary of, you know, not bringing him on too quickly. He's improving very well, but he doesn't need too many hard fights.
But this one has been stopped 4 times in his career.
Well, it looks like that could be the, you know, the right sort of match, because, you know, obviously he can be stopped. So, you know, there is a chink in there somewhere, which obviously Gomez will be trying to find.
The record books say that Galindo was stopped in 8 rounds in his last fight just 29 days ago. But he's definitely been cleared to box here by the Guadalajara Commission in Mexico, who say he was stopped only on a cut.
Although again, there was a nice uppercut in there from Gomez. Some good work on the inside.
Not too precise with his shots, Galindo, hitting gloves a lot, and some of the punches missing completely.
Well, I think that's been the difference between the two in this fight. You know, the fact that the better punches, the better accuracy has been from Gomez.
Just wasting a few more this round, though, isn't he? Not quite as snappy and sharp in this round, Gomez, I don't think. But a quietish sort of round. He's had a hard year, hasn't he? 7 fights in a year.
Yes, he has had a, you know, relatively hard year. There's been a, you know, a few longer ones. The last one, a tough 12-rounder. But really, at this age, you know, he should be able to do that. That shouldn't be too tough for a youngster.
We're on Merseyside tonight at the Everton Park Leisure Centre. Here's a check on the British rankings at super featherweight as we have them. Charles Shepherd and Barry Jones got a world title fight again soon. Gomez we've got at 3. Dean Pithy, who might be fighting Gomez in the new year for the British title. He's in action on Tuesday night on Sky. Those are the top 4. Others with hopes and dreams as the boxing story unfolds into the new millennium. Gomez black trunks here. First impressions of Galindo, Glenn?
Well, certainly pretty capable. He's putting up a decent performance here, and he's, you know, he's making Gomez work all the way.
Looking frustrated with himself there for a moment, Gomez. I suppose there is just the possibility, after that hard 12-rounder only a couple of months ago, that Gomez could be a little bit flat and jaded. He'd almost be entitled to an offish night, really, if you were being kind. He can hardly have been out of the gym. Switching southpaw for a moment there, Gomez. Still in that pose as well.
Well, he's trying a few different things. Doesn't want to, you know, try it too long, just in case he's caught by a shot. I mean, this is difficult for him. You know, he's only just realised he's in with a southpaw opponent. You know, and that's very difficult. He's probably worked with orthodox sparring partners, and you know, there's a few mental calculations you've got to make in there while you're fighting.
Never seen that before. Gomez, the switch hitter. Digging in a few to the body here, Gomez.
That's good pressure from Gomez. Nice variety in close. But Galindo showing he's got a bit of pride, and quickly tried to get off those ropes.
Great support for Gomez every time he boxes. And there he goes into the southpaw stance again, just trying to confuse Galindo.
Galindo complaining of the heads inside there. Maybe Gomez is a little guilty of having his head down a little.
Galindo turning the tables. Gomez does cover up well. His defense looks tight and good.
Again, the head of Gomez just coming into the face of Galindo.
Gomez, you would say, the front runner to pick up the Young Boxer of the Year award for 1999, following on from Ricky Hatton, who collected the last one. So let's hear what Barry McGuigan's making of developments. Barry.
Yeah, I think he's entitled to be jaded. He looks a bit jaded, and he's fighting the wrong fight here. He shouldn't try and macho out with this guy. He's doing a little bit more boxing in this round. That's what he's got to do, and he's got to be clever. He's got to try and use this as a boxing, a nice little sparring match where he doesn't get hit with punches. He moves around, tries to move southpaw orthodox, just not get silly, and don't try and sit in there and swap punches with the guy. That's wrong. It's the worst thing to do. These guys love that sort of encounter. He's got to be smart, try and frustrate him, outbox him, and then nail him with sharp punches, because this guy looks like he's going to be here all night.
Thanks, Barry. So more boxing skills and less trading. That's the advice from Barry McGuigan. What do you think, Glenn?
Yes, I agree. Use that jab, a little bit more lateral movement, but the way he fights is quite aggressive, and it's difficult for him to be any other.
Here comes round 5 for you then. Black trunks Gomez. Nice little left uppercut, and he seemed a little bit distressed there about something, Galindo, over on those ropes. Maybe just felt the force of that shot. This fellow can be stopped. Good sharp jab too by Gomez. He had his first ever 12-rounder in that good fight against Galindo's brother-in-law 2 months ago. And I think that will have taught him the virtues of patience and the need for stamina. Again, the heads coming together dangerously there. Mickey Van screaming at the two fighters to get out of that clinch and to watch the heads.
Yes, they've both been a little aggressive inside with the heads.
Well, here goes Galindo, trying to land cleanly, but not finding a way through too many times, and it was Gomez who finished the rally with that strong shot.
Yes, there's a good left hook right at the end of that from Gomez.
Not too accurate with his punches, Galindo. He's plenty willing enough, obviously has bags of heart, and has come here with every intention of causing the upset. Watch the use of the head, says Mickey Van, who's getting a little bit fed up with having to repeat himself about that point. He might take some action quite soon against one of them.
Yeah, I think Gomez could be in danger of losing a point if he carries on. He's just a little bit too keen to move that head around when they're in the clinches. And Mickey Van didn't want to see any of that.
Keener punching coming from Gomez, though I don't think he looks as snappy and sharp as we've seen him for most of 1999. Not by a long way, actually.
No, you can forgive him a little bit, as you said, Ian. It's been a tough year, and he's come off the back of what was a good and hard fight just a month ago. Galindo having the success there with the uppercut.
A couple of left hooks, though, from Gomez, too. And then a left uppercut from Gomez. Had all sorts of personal problems earlier on in his career that, well, they were part of the reason for his defeats, but he's on the right track now, Gomez. And welcome back to the Everton Park Leisure Centre.
Nice work inside from Gomez, and then looking to step to find another angle for an attack. And for me, yeah, I'm giving Gomez all of these rounds. You know, he's just doing the cleaner work.
You've given him every round so far.
I'll give him everything so far. The first was very, very close, but I just thought he did the better. There was no room for argument in that one, but the rest of them, I just have him doing, you know, the better work, the cleaner, and scoring with the better punches.
Well, I've been a little bit kinder to Galindo. I gave him the first round and had the third even, but I've still got Gomez out in front. Coming up towards the halfway point in this one. That's a good left hand dug in by Galindo. I wonder if he might just start to grow in confidence a little.
Well, I think it would suit Galindo to try and box a bit more from long range. You know, he's got the height, he's got the reach. You know, the southpaw might just confuse Gomez, and I think it would maybe do him better to try and do something from long range.
And my suspicion of what we've seen so far, Glenn, is that Gomez has a slightly better level of ability. And there's a little loose piece of tape on the glove. The old problem. The old problem.
Yeah, the problem at the beginning of the fight that they held it up for, there's something wrong, maybe a bit wet around the gloves, so they're having to tape them up again.
Do you think sometime in the next millennium somebody will sort out an answer in this high-tech age to something like that?
I don't know, Ian. I think tape's good enough. I think they sorted it out a while ago.
Good right hand from Gomez. Great right hand again. Gomez is timing the shots a little bit better. Galindo not getting through with his punches, hitting gloves and air. Gomez picking his better. Gomez staying ahead in this fight and plenty mobile enough, despite about the biggest pair of boxing trunks I think I've ever seen. Almost down to his ankles, aren't they?
Yeah, he does like those big ones, doesn't he? Not quite sure of the fashion of those. Was a nice flashy combination from Gomez inside and then switching to the head.
Galindo does get off those ropes, and for a moment Gomez lowers his guard. Seemed to lose concentration for a split second.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what that was about. That was poor of him to do that. He could have been caught with a punch there.
In the crowd tonight, one of Liverpool's boxing heroes. There is Alan Rudkin, who 30 years ago this weekend fought Ruben Olivares for the world bantamweight title. One of 3 world title attempts he had. He also lost to Fighting Harada and Lionel Rose, but a fine, fine operator. Good to see him still involved and interested in the local fighters boxing up here these days. There have been a lot of Liverpool fighters on the undercard tonight. And Manchester's Michael Gomez in a starring role here against this Mexican Oscar Galindo.
Well, there's a few signs in the last round of Gomez just losing concentration. And I didn't think that was his most effective round, and you know, maybe just an even round. Some good left hooks and a beautiful uppercut from Gomez starting this one.
pressure here from Gomez. Galindo refusing to be dominated over on those ropes and trying to fire back, but coming off worse again in the exchange. I think he's just finding the extra precision and technical skills of Gomez a little too much. Can Gomez force a stoppage? Oh, big left hook, then a right hand to follow, driving Galindo back against those ropes. Big start to this round by Michael Gomez, the Manchester fighter who calls himself the Predator.
Well, Galindo bravely fighting back, punch for punch. He took a few good ones to the head there, Galindo, but you know, he is game and he is tough. Still trying to pile on the pressure, Gomez.
Galindo remaining competitive, but definitely behind, we think anyway. Just seems to be hitting the arms and gloves of Gomez so much, doesn't he?
Yes, he's not as accurate as Gomez is. And just in this round, he's looking a little bit tired from that. Shows his bravery and comes back well, Galindo.
Again, the left hook, followed by the right to the body from Gomez. And catches Galindo again to the side of the head, then a left uppercut. A lot of Gomez pressure in this, the 7th. Looks like he might take a fair bit of breaking down, though, Galindo, both in body and spirit. Seven rounds gone. You've heard what Glenn and I and Barry McGuigan think of the way it's been going. Let's get an alternative view now from former world champion Robin Reid, who's with us. Over to Adam Smith.
Robin, how do you see it going? It's quite a tricky one for Gomez tonight.
Yeah, I mean, as you see, in his last few fights with the Mexicans, he's had some tough fights. I don't think you get any easy opponents from Mexico. It's very tough. As you can see, he's matching Michael punch for punch at times. I think what Michael needs to do is, like, when he's on top and he's, you know, wailing away, just stay on top, pick his punches, and I think he'll go sooner or later.
He's starting to get on top now,
yeah,
isn't he?
As you see that last round then, he started to work away, he was swinging away, and he was catching the Mexican. The power seems to be sinking out of his punches now. I think he's not losing, you know, disheartening him a bit, you know, with the punches that he's catching. But I think if he just stays on top, picks his punches, I think we could stop him in the next couple of rounds.
Thanks very much, Robin.
Robin Reid, who we'll hopefully see back in the ring in the new year. On to the 8th round of this one. How have you got it at the moment, Glenn?
Well, I've got Gomez, you know, pulling well away, although Galindo is giving him good competition. You know, the better punches, the cleaner ones, I'm getting, you know, up from Gomez. Yeah, I think he is a little flat, but there's still some very good work going in there from Gomez. He is a, you know, very much improved fighter. But, you know, you don't have to go back that far, you know, and he's come on such, you know, leaps and bounds.
Great credit to the buzzing Brian Hughes Collyhurst gym. The way in which Gomez and indeed Anthony Farnell, the late middleweight, have improved and really taken the eye.
Well, I think Robin Reid, you know, just speaking to him, he's responsible for a lot of that. You know, having a world champion in their gym, you know, did so much for that camp.
Yes, he's passed on a lot of good advice as well, and very much part of that story.
Well, this round's a lot quieter, neither one doing that much. You can excuse them if they're going to have a little bit of a breather in there, because this has been fought at a good pace throughout.
Gomez working away, but he as yet unable to make a significant dent in this Mexican. What happened to all those Mexican road sweepers that Nigel Benn used to go on about? We don't get any more of those, do we?
Well, thank goodness, but they're not bringing them in from Gomez. Galindo's had a good round, and Gomez just now starting to push back a bit. But Galindo's got through a few times in this one.
Good body shots from Galindo. Like Gomez, he's only 22, remember. Still might have a bit of ambition in there. He's certainly not got to the old twisted journeyman stage, has he?
No, and in this round it has looked as if Gomez has started to tire, and Galindo has just had a few of the cleaner punches in what's been a pretty quiet round.
So welcome back. That last round was a better one for Galindo, his best in a while.
And there's a good uppercut from Gomez. The left hook not working, but the right hand doing that. But I thought, like you, Ian, that Galindo just did better. And it looked as if Gomez was starting to tire.
Ninth round then. Good uppercut from Gomez, who looks to the floor in anguish about something. Gomez, I think he might have just lost his footing. Galindo, you get the impression, just growing in ambition a little.
Well, that was a good combination from him. Just turned Gomez on the ropes and then put in a good barrage of punches.
Be careful, Gomez, here, that the batteries don't suddenly start registering zero.
Well, he's quite an intense, focused young man, Gomez. But he's got to try and keep that pressure on and, you know, stay the boss in there.
Good moments in this fight, Gomez, and has found some quite classy punches, but it's been in cameos rather than any kind of sustained way this time.
Yes, overall it's just been a little lack of spark about his work. He's still going through with everything quite well, but just that little spark missing. And his defenses are coming down a bit. Has to watch that every now and again, getting picked off with some nice clean punches from Galindo. You've got to be careful, he's not just standing in front of Galindo doing nothing and gets nailed.
Leaning on and looking a little more tired, Gomez. Trying to wear this man down maybe with close quarter work, but Galindo's having none of it.
I think he's just got to watch, because it's been a tough year, that he doesn't punch himself out in this fight, Gomez, because he's looking very tired.
Took a big gulp of air then as he came away from the corner, Gomez. Second long and quite hardish fight in a couple of months, remember. I reckon he could do with a good little break after this one. Most of the pressure from Gomez in the round, though. So let's get an update on Barry McGuigan's views.
Yeah, well, when I said the last time in that he needed to use his boxing ability, I never expected him to be fleet-footed and dance around the ring. What he's got to do is he's got to try and be a little bit more clever. Now he's too tired for it. He is showing that he's stale in this fight. He's had a lot of hard work this year, and you can see it there. And in this round in particular, he was walking onto too many punches. And he's walking straight in and he's showing his tiredness and his lethargy. He should be able to have that lateral movement to be able to avoid those punches. Just be a little bit more subtle, slip down to the side, turn around. The way he can move and shuffle quickly when he's attacking, he should be able to move out of the way rather than stand up against the ropes. He's the sort of fighter that's always going to have a hard fight. He's got to try and be a little bit more sharper, pick his punches a bit cleverer, and just try and stay out of trouble for the rest of the fight.
By the way, congratulations to Bristol's Glenn Catley for a big win in Canada last night over Eric Luca in a WBC super middleweight eliminator, stopping Luca in the last round, Catley there, and that should earn him a world title chance. Back to this one, and Michael Gomez ahead here, we think, but being given a tough workout by this Mexican, Oscar Galindo. Got to the point really for Gomez here that really he's just got to put this down as one of those slightly stale nights, get the win against this record, recharge a bit and come back in the new century.
Well, there's always going to be, you know, in every fighter's career, nights like that when you're not, you know, quite on fire. But the main thing is just winning. You know, I think that's, you know, he's just got to try working hard, keep thinking about it, and, you know, just try and suck it up when he can and get through this with a win. That's the most important thing.
Galindo still light on his feet. Willing, but essentially a bit limited, I'd say, really, wouldn't you?
Yes, I think that's just been the difference between them. I think throughout this, Gomez has had that much more ambition than Galindo. And, you know, I think technically he's better boxer, Gomez. You know, he's looked good under pressure. He's took so many of them on the gloves, where when Galindo's been under pressure, he's been caught with them.
Little right through the middle, did get through from Gomez. I tell you what, Gomez in top form though against Dean Pithy, the British title fight we're expecting in the new year, should be a good one, shouldn't it?
That should be an excellent matchup, and we'll answer a lot of questions as to how good he is, Gomez.
Pithy, by the way, in action on Tuesday night on Sky Sports. You can see that one in with a toughish South African in defence of his WBC international title in his hometown of Coventry.
So Gomez still got enough about himself to lean over the ropes and give us a wink, Ian.
He's done that more than once as well.
I don't know if you owe money or something.
If I had any.
Well, he nearly come and landed on your lap as well there.
Good left hook, but look at Galindo fire back again. Got in with one of his own. Good action. Just taking a few on the way in, Gomez. Two rounds to go, and Glenn McCrory's scorecard says what?
Well, I've got Gomez in a handy lead. I mean, some of the rounds are quite close, but I've got him 6 points ahead.
I've got it 5.
Yeah, I think there it is. There's 2 of the rounds I've given even. May well have just went to Galindo, but you know, I've still got him a handy leader. He's just been the one for me that's looked more like he wants to win. Hasn't been his best night, but you know, he's still done a lot more. So he's just picking up a left hand there, but wants to put more on. There's 2 good shots from him.
That was a good attack, good combination punching from Gomez. And I'll say it again, after the tough night he's had and the tough year he's had, he's entitled to just be a bit below par. Every fighter is now and again.
Of course, you can't be on your best every fight. You know, and if you can win in decent class when you're not, you know, when you're below par, then that's very good indeed.
Left hook from Gomez. Yeah, you have to allow any fighter that kind of latitude. Even Muhammad Ali and Joe Louis had their off nights.
But the intensity of Gomez, even on an off night, is quite special, isn't it? I mean, you know, he just won't be held back. He really does want to succeed so very much.
Do you get the impression that Gomez is having to dig quite deep into his reserves of stamina? Always doing the cleaner work for me, though, in this fight.
Oh, good right hand and left too. These are solid punches going in from Gomez.
They are, aren't they? Can he hit the jackpot with one of them? Beginning to get through with some regularity here as Galindo's guard comes down. He's got through with quite a few meaty-looking headshots. That's another one, and again.
Well, he's taking quite a few now. Galindo really has done well to stand up to these shots from Gomez.
Well, I wondered about Galindo's punch resistance a bit when I looked at his record. Saw that he'd been stopped 29 days ago and been beaten inside schedule 4 times in 18 fights. But he looks toughen up here.
Well, this is the best spell for Gomez. He really has rocked that head about of Galindo. Just looked as if he was about to come apart there, Galindo, and then got off the ropes.
This is sharper in this round from Gomez. Finishing strongly here in this, the 11th round.
I think maybe he feels a bit of weakness in Galindo because he's certainly had a surge and come on strong. But hasn't he had to work so very, very hard? And you said it earlier, you know, he deserves to go into the next century with a good rest, I think. He doesn't want to be back too early next year.
He might have to be back quite early to fight Pithy. That could be February. Good uppercut. This is Gomez's best round for me. Accuracy, snap is back. Oh, and a big right hand. He might take Galindo out here. He's stopped in the 11th round. He forces the stoppage. Galindo had just taken too many for Mickey Van's liking. There's no protest from the Mexican, who gets a hug of sympathy from the referee. It had been a game effort from him. But Gomez, say what you like about him, looking a bit jaded tonight, a bit tired. Maybe he was, but he stopped the man.
He did, and I thought that was excellent. You know, perseverance just to keep on at his job to bring about the stoppage. Galindo didn't disagree, but he stood out in the centre of the ring on one leg and held his arms up as if to say, I'm not wobbling. But I thought the referee, I thought that was an excellent decision because I thought he was taking too many solid head-jerking punches to be allowed to continue. And I thought, you know, that was an excellent decision to call a halt at that time.
There are sombreros being thrown into the ring. I've got one in my hand that's been thrown from the fans. I'll fling that in the ring as well. Here's the finish. Now, I tell you what, whatever Gomez had done before in this fight, this last round was a sustained assault with accuracy and power. Mickey Van got this dead right.
He did. Look at these 3 punches, 4 punches, you know, and he already took a few in the combination before that, further along the ropes. And look at it. You know, you can't allow someone to take shots like this when they're so tired at the end of the 11th round. You know, this is where fights, when they're tired, this is where fighters can get hurt.
So Gomez holds on to this Intercontinental title, which in all honesty doesn't mean as much, of course, as his British Championship, which is a conventional and meaningful title. But he makes it 7 wins out of 7 this year. And I tell you what, I'm looking forward to that fight with Pithy. That should be a good one, shouldn't it?
Yes, it should be excellent. Obviously, Pithy's got to get through the next one in a little one next week. But it should be an excellent fight when it comes up. But it's just the intensity of Gomez. That's really his biggest point. You know, he just will not be denied. And you know, you've got a tough Mexican in there who, you know, come for a long fight, and he just kept at him and kept at him to be rescued.
Look at that, he gives him a big hug. He knows what the fight is going through mentally about that. Whoa, look at that, I did it, I stopped him.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 2 minutes and 52 seconds of the 11th round, the referee stops the contest. The winner, and still WBO Intercontinental Super Featherweight Champion, Michael Gomez.
What a turnaround in the career fortunes of Gomez. The 7th win, as Ian said, this year. And Brian Hughes, the man who put him on the straight and narrow, so to speak, in and out of the ring, can take some of the credit. We'll get a word with Gomez in a moment, but do stay with us.
Yeah, it was a hard fight. He was a tough lad. It was my own fault. Brian said, do you want to take this fight? And I took it. Been stupid. I should have had a little bit more rest after that last one. First 12 round though. But like I say, it's learning. I know how to do it again. But I showed that wasn't my skill. It was shocking. I was just grinding, show grit, taking stupid punches, but it was just all grit. And if I can win on a bad night like that, shows you how good I am.
And he was very willing at times, wasn't he?
Oh, I come back, kept coming back. Every time I hit him, he come back. I wasn't really happy in the mind for this fight. Look at all this support I brought out. I'm not even top of the bill. I've got a British title, Lonsdale belt, looking for Dean Piffy next fight, big fight. I'm not even top of the bill. What have I got to do to be proved? You know, I had to get in psyched up, wearing daft shorts, sombrero hat to get noticed. I should be noticed now, I shouldn't have to do it all now.
Brian Hughes, Michael's trainer, he's had a fantastic year. Dean Piffy next, do you think that's the sort of fight he should take?
I mean, the last fight, he wasn't sharp tonight, and you could see that from the last fight. He'd had an hard 12 rounds, and he took this fight too soon afterwards. So definitely he won't be fighting Dean Piffy, not till he's had a good break. He won't fight him, Brian. Yeah, he will fight him, but when the time's right, when we say it's right, not when Michael says it's right, you've got to protect him. And the last fight took a lot out of him, and he's come back too soon to fight another blow. If these other prospects fought somebody like this kid here, you'd find out how good they was. They get all the easy fights, and these kids from Colliers get all the hard fights. Why can't they have a bit of a break?
Both of you have a nice Christmas, and well done tonight.
Thanks, Guy. Thanks, Ian.